Hey, let's get into it. Before modern medicine and testing and blood work and all those things, doctors often they had to diagnose illnesses using only the visible symptoms, things on the outside. But the best physicians they developed a reputation for one particular habit. They listened carefully and they asked lots of questions. They observed because sometimes treating the wrong problem could be just as dangerous as treating just no problem at all. And a rush diagnosis can create more damage than the original illness. And Proverbs says something similar happens here in our conversations. Proverbs 18:13. If one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame. It's one of the shortest proverbs in the book and one of the most painfully relevant for us because most of us have experienced both sides of this. We've been misunderstood by someone who they stopped listening too early. And if we're honest, we've done the same thing ourselves. The proverb here paints a really simple picture. Someone begins answering before they have actually heard the whole matter, before all the facts, before understanding the person, before asking follow-up questions. They already have a conclusion. And Proverbs calls that folly. Not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack patience. That's maybe an important distinction. Wisdom and intelligence are not always the same thing. A highly intelligent person can still be a really poor listener. A really educated person can still jump to wild conclusions. Wisdom slows down. Wisdom listens. It seeks understanding before forming a judgment. The challenge that our culture is that it often rewards the opposite. It rewards quick responses and sort of instant opinions, quick deliberations. We feel the pressure to have an impressive answer immediately. Scripture repeatedly values careful listening. Think about how often conflict begins with our favorite assumptions. Somebody says something, and we think they know what they mean. We assume motives, and then we fill in details, and we respond to our assumptions rather than to reality. And before long, everyone's arguing about something that no one actually even said. James echoes the same principle a little bit later, where we saw it in James. Be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to become angry, because listening is an act of humility. It acknowledges that I might not have the full picture yet. And that's especially important in our relationships. People rarely feel loved when we merely correct someone. They feel loved when there's understanding. Listening communicates value. It communicates that attention and the respect. It tells the other person, you matter enough for me to slow down and just hear you. We go back to the physician. A wise doctor doesn't begin treatment halfway through the examination. They keep listening. They keep observing. They keep learning because understanding has to come before the response. And the same principle applies to nearly every conversation you'll have today. So who in your life needs a better listener from you right now? Is it your spouse? Is it your kids? A friend? A coworker? When was the last time you listened simply to understand rather than preparing your response and trying to look impressive? What would it look like today to just ask one more question before giving your opinion? To slow down, to seek understanding. Wherever you find yourself, God goes with you today.